Hey Bloxburgers! In this video, we will be sharing some updates and details about the exciting things that our team is working on behind the scenes. If you have not seen our Q&A video from last year, we've already shared some of our development plans for this year and would like to check in and give you some more information on the status of those plans. We're going to talk about the current status of the new world map, the new Bloxburg High School, our user interface improvements, audio improvements, and a few other items the team has been working on. Our goal is still to increase transparency with the community, and we will give you some insight as to what we are currently working on, but we should also point out that not everything that's going to be mentioned here is a promise. Think of the dates in this video more as our intentions instead of a guide. Anyways, let's dive further into what our team is working on now and some of what you can expect later this year, starting with the map. The new map is one of our core focuses for the team right now across all of our disciplines. We did mention previously that we had to restart a map because we didn't really feel quite right about how it was turning out. But with this new version, we are feeling way more confident and are excited to announce that we are planning to release it this summer. Currently, our artists are working on finalizing the larger elements like terrain, roads, buildings, and then other visual elements. And when they're done with that, they will work on placing some of the final touches like signs, props, and who knows, maybe some Easter eggs. Then, our programming team will take over the process and work to complete some additional setups in order to make sure that a new map is going to be functioning as intended. And then the entire team will be spending time testing the map over and over again to make sure that it's ready for the release. More details about the map I can't show you yet, but I can talk about it. We are not adding on to or tweaking what we have. If you're an OG player, you remember that the highway was added and it was called new map. That's not what we're aiming for. We are creating a brand new map, but we are keeping a nod to the old map. We've heard your concerns about that the new map may not feel like Bloxburg, but we're doing our best to not only keep, but to expand the personality of the game, while also bringing a fresh feel. We think it's an important step of being innovative and improving how the game feels for all of our players, both old and new. Moving on to the city center and the downtown portion of the map, this is an extremely important part for role-playing, exploration, and more. And that's why, when working on the new town center, we want to make sure that there's new locations mixed with the old ones. And yes, the city hall will remain there as Tom still needs a home. Our goal is to have a cozier downtown area that brings in more for players to do and to see, but we're also adding more character and charm to the game. So when it comes to new elements, we are exploring what could be of value to each player, giving the buildings and locations purpose and making sure you will want to come back and visit them often. And some locations may not be coming as the map releases this summer, as the map will be our foundation where we can work on and add to, as we intend to keep bringing new life to the game over time. And did we say the map is bigger? Well, it is. And that means we're working hard to enhance the experience of getting around town, focusing on different modes of transportations for those with vehicles of your own, but we're also looking at options such as public transportation. The goal is to create a far more immersive experience when exploring. And we've also created a better road network with more variety in road styles. Think highways, bike lanes, off-road paths, and so on. Now, you did hear us mention bigger, right? And a lot of you probably have questions around plots, because when we did our Q&A, many of you wanted to see different plot locations. And with this new map, we're exploring the option of having plots in different types of locations around the map, which we hope will continue to inspire different types of build and role plays, many different viewpoints and backgrounds and points of interest. And that brings us to the next question from the Q&A is, are there going to be more than 12 plots? And this is something we're aiming to increase as well. However, it needs to be tested over and over to ensure that we're delivering a smooth experience for everyone. When a new map releases, we are planning on keeping the 12 plots initially, but if everything works out properly in terms of performance mainly, our goal is to increase the number of plots and players players in a way that ensures stability. And while it's not a guarantee, we really hope that we can make this happen. And speaking of performance, we know this is a shared concern, and we are continuing to look at ways to make the game's performance more stable for as many users as possible, especially as we change to larger elements like a new map. It is something we are constantly thinking about and want to improve, and will continue to take whatever steps we can to improve your experience. Overall, our team is thrilled about how the new map is turning out and what it means for the future of the game. We can't wait to see your reaction to it.
Let's talk about something exciting behind the scenes. Bloxburg's getting a facelift. While some of the team has been working on the map, others, including a few outside collaborators, have been busy overhauling the entire UI, aka user interface. If you're thinking, wait, UI? It's just a fancy way of saying all the buttons, icons, and menus you see playing the game. The UI is extremely important, as it tells you what you want, where to go, and what is happening, without the need for any guesswork. Our main goal is to make Bloxburg more intuitive and easier to use, whether you're brand new or a long-time player. We want the screen to feel less cluttered, more consistent across devices, and focus on what really matters in the moment-to-moment gameplay. Whether you're hopping into build mode, working away at your favorite in-game job, responding to a pop-up, or just exploring. We also want to make our settings more accessible for different player needs and improve how the game plays on specific devices, such as consoles or when using a game controller. One big change we're leaning into is using more icons instead of text. Not only does it look cleaner and is easier to understand, but it also helps a lot with localization. When translating the game into other languages, text on the buttons would sometimes become too long, shrinking the letters and making them hard to read. Icons help keep things clear, no matter what language you play in. And hey, builders, we see you. We know the struggle of digging through endless build mode categories just to find one item. We are reworking the categories, adding more ways to browse, sort, and search, and making the whole thing way more user-friendly. And one more exciting change. Part of our UI is going to be stylized like a cell phone. That means a lot of the game options like the backpack, your skills, family tree, and much more will now be inside a cool-looking virtual phone with updated, easy-to-use menus. It ties into the living your best life in Bloxburg, and it helps organize everything in a way that feels more consistent and easier to navigate. While it's going to look and feel like a phone, when we initially release this new UI, our focus is going to be updating the existing menus and content the game needs, so everything runs smoothly. This means we may not have some of the other common cell phone elements, such as texting or calling other players right away. But rest assured, we intend to add additional features like this in the future. When should we expect this, you ask me? Our goal is to have most of the UI overhaul completed by the end of the year, though we expect parts of it will arrive earlier. For example, we may up visuals first, but then continue improving menus, features, or other specific elements through the year. These are just a few of the changes coming to our UI, but through it all, we've made sure not to lose the elements that make Bloxburg feel like home. It is still the same game, just smoother and hopefully more fun to navigate. Let's talk all things audio. You may have heard, pun intended, that last year we started releasing some changes to improve the sounds in the game. Those birds chirping around the map or the unique sounds inside the different buildings. We think sound is an important piece of the puzzle that historically we haven't really focused on as much as we would have liked to. We have been continuing our quest to improve the in-game sound experience across the board. That means more sounds for different items, fresh and way quieter, vehicle sounds that actually match the type of car you're driving, and even some funny audio touches in menus and buttons to go along with all the new UI updates we mentioned earlier. But wait, there's more. Not only are we improving the sound effects, but we're also going to be adding a brand new soundtrack too. The days of hearing the same background music over and over while building are finally coming to an end, as we have new tunes to give you a bit more variety, whether you're building, working, or exploring. We're excited that JJ Ibsen, yep, the same one behind Planet Coaster and Planet Zoo, has been hard at work over the last year to give our beloved Bloxburg a soundtrack that captures the vibes we want our town to have. You'll start hearing many of these audio changes this summer, with more tweaks and additions to come after that. We'll keep you posted in future updates. Now on to another big topic, this school. As we have mentioned in our Q&A, this is a massive project, and we have even brought in an external team to help make it a reality. We know this is one of the most highly anticipated features in game. Seriously, we have seen this request pop up so many times over the years. So we really want to make sure we do it justice, especially after such a long wait. Your feedback from past polls and suggestions played a huge role in shaping what Bloxburg High School is becoming. The school will be set on a brand new location, already planned for on the updated map, and include interactive classes with unique activities, among other potential elements, like being able to customize your own lockers and some new and modified jobs. Looking at you, Glenn. Like anything in game development, what you see in game often takes months of work behind the scenes, and this school is no exception. So the big question is, where are we at with the school right now? Right now, our art team is busy crafting tons of props for the school, while our programming team is hard at work giving them function. A lot of these assets need to be ready well in advance, so we can stay on track with our production timeline, especially now that we are teaming up with another studio to help bring this huge feature to life. The school building itself is already taking shape with a floor plan that allows us to think about exciting new possibilities for the school in the future. On top of that, our partner team is focused on the gameplay side of things, working on class activities and building out the core systems that will make the school feature work. The school is a great example of just how much time and planning go into the bigger features we create, and why development often starts months and sometimes even years before you see anything in game. Of course, since development is still in progress, things might still change. But we're feeling really excited and optimistic about the direction we are heading. Now, we know what you're probably wondering. This all sounds awesome. But when is the school actually coming out? Right now, our goal is to release it by the end of fall. But we're doing our best to launch it sooner, as long as we can do that without compromising the quality or the touches that make it feel truly special. We'll be sure to share more details and status updates with you as we get closer to the school's grand door opening.
Last year, we did a Q&A to answer some of your questions and also keep your wants and needs at the top of our mind. And we hope this video addresses most of the questions you had back then and are excited to share even more information down the line as these bigger updates get closer and closer. Answering other questions from the Q&A are still part of our plans too, but please don't expect things such as new roofing types, foundations, pets, and so on in the near future, as right now the topics we mentioned in this video are keeping us extremely busy, but we still plan on giving you some smaller updates along the way as well. As we mentioned, we're always working on multiple updates at once. As most of you know, game development has a lot of trial and error, and is constantly changing and evolving through countless iterations, so some things may change by the time we are done. And also, sometimes things don't go exactly as planned. For example, the first map we made last year, where we had to start over, as we want to make sure that the entire team is happy with the quality of the updates that we release. We've also seen some questions on why our usual updates have been less frequent recently, or why certain decisions were made, and we hope by sharing what our team is working on that you will have a bit more context. And that our team is usually not working on a single update, but on multiple updates at the same time. To give an example, some of our team is working on creating the items you will see in the school, other people on the team are working on the new map, and there are occasions where we will put a pause on things that we're working on to roll out events and content such as the April Fool's update, and we do carefully plan around these so that we don't lose too much traction of the bigger later updates that we have planned. What we're trying to say is that our team is not focused on a single update, but multiple updates. So while it may not always seem like there's much going on, we can assure you that there's a lot happening behind the scenes. We hope you enjoyed this deeper dive into what our team is working on, and plan on bringing you future status updates like this one too. But in the meantime, let us know which features you're looking forward to the most in the comments. And as always, thank you so much for your support and feedback, and for being a part of this community. Our team is so excited for the additions that are still planned for the game this year, and we hope you will all really enjoy these changes as they come to life. And if you like all things Bloxburg, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe for more content. You can also find our official media channels, such as our Discord server, linked below. See you next time. Hej då!